Um, okay, let's play it. A half moon glowed on the smooth brunette boulders, turning them silver. The silence was only broken by the ripple of water from the swift black river and the whispers of trees in the forest beyond. Seems interesting. There was a stirring in the shadows, and all around the dark shapes crept stealthily over the rocks. Unsheathed claws glinted in the moonlight. Warrior eyes flashed like amber. And then, as if on a silent signal, the creatures leaped onto each other, and suddenly the rocks were alive, with rustling, screeching cats. At the center of the frenzy of fur and claws, a massive dark tabby pinned a bracken-colored Tom to the ground and drew up his head triumphantly. Oakheart, how dare you hunt in our territory? The Stunning Rocks belong to ThunderClan. After tonight, Tigerclaw, this will just be another RiverClan hunting ground. A warning yell came from the shore, shrill and anxious. Look out, more RiverClan warriors are coming! Tigerclaw turned to see sleek wet bodies hiding out of the water below the rocks. The drenched RiverClan warriors bounded silently up the shore and hurled themselves into battle without even stopping to shake the water from their fur. No? So they stay wet? You may swim like otters, but you and your warriors do not belong in this forest. He drew back his lips and showed his teeth as the cat struggled beneath him. The desperate scream of the ThunderClan she-cat rose above the clamor. A RiverClan Tom had pinned the brown warrior flat on her belly. Now he lunged toward her neck, with jaws still dripping from a swim across the river. Tigerclaw heard the cry and let go of Oakheart. With a mighty leap, he knocked the enemy warrior away from the she-cat. Quick, Mousefur, run! Mousefur scrambled onto her paws, wincing from a deep gash on her shoulder, and raced away. Behind her, Tigerclaw spat with rage as the RiverClan Tom sliced open his nose. Blood blinded him for an instant, but he lunged forward regardless and sank his teeth into the hind leg of his enemy. The RiverClan cat squealed and struggled free. Tigerclaw, this is useless. There are too many RiverClan warriors. No, Redtail, ThunderClan will never be beaten. Oh no! Oh my gosh! I did not expect it to look like that. This is our territory! Blood was welling around his broad black muzzle. He shook his head impatiently, scattering scarlet drops onto the rocks. ThunderClan will honor your courage, Tigerclaw, but we cannot afford to lose any more of our warriors. Loosehart, we never expect her warriors to fight against these impossible odds. We will have another chance to avenge this defeat. Sorry, I just have tons of more games open, so just... We will have another chance to avenge this defeat. He met Tigerclaw's anger-eyed gaze steadily, then reared away and sprang back onto a boulder at the edge of the trees. I was about to say shore, but... Retreat, ThunderClan, retreat! At once his warriors scrambled and struggled away from their opponents. Spitting and snarling, they backed toward Redtail. Yo, what is this all over the rocks? Blood? For a heartbeat, the RiverClan cats looked confused. Was this battle so easily won? Then Oakheart yelled a jubilant cry. As soon as they heard him, the RiverClan warriors raised their voice and joined their deputy into their caterwauling their victory. Redtail looked down at his warriors. With a flick of his tail, he gave a signal, and the ThunderClan cats dived down the far side of the Stunning Rocks and then disappeared into the trees. Tigerclaw followed at last. He hesitated at the edge of the forest and glanced back at the blood-stained battlefield. Oh, so that's what that is. It's bloodstains. Roxy, you're mean. So it is blood. Oh. His face was grim, his eyes furious slits. Then he leaped after his clan into the silent forest. In a deserted clearing, an old gray she-cat sat alone, staring up to the clear night sky. Around here, in the shadows, she could hear a breathing sound and stirrings of sleeping cats. The smallest tortoiseshell she-cat emerged from a dark corner. Her paw steps were quick and soundless. The gray cat dipped her head in greeting. How is Mouse Fur? Her wounds are deep, Blue Star, but she's young and strong. She'll heal quickly. And the others? They will all recover too. Blue Star sighed. We are lucky not to have lost any of our warriors this time. You are a gifted medicine cat, Spotted Leaf. Oh, that's so sweet. Here, let me just grab my Jay Feather. Come here, Jay Feather. Oh. Jay Feather. She tilted her head again and studied the stars. Deeply troubled by tonight's defeat. ThunderClan has not been beaten in its own territory since I became leader. She murmured. These are difficult times for our clan. The season of new leaf is late, and there have been fewer kids. ThunderClan needs more warriors if it is to survive. But the year is only just beginning. There will be more kids when Greenleaf comes. The gray cat twitched her broad shoulders. Perhaps, but training our young to become warriors takes time. If ThunderClan is to defend its territory, it must have new warriors as soon as possible. Are you asking StarClan for answers? Spotted Leaf, following Blue Star's gaze, staring up at the swath of stars glittering in the dark sky. It is at times we need the words of ancient warriors to help us. Has StarClan spoken to you? Not for some moons, Blue Star. Suddenly, a shooting star blazed over the treetops. Spotted Leaf's tail twitched, and the fur along her spine bristled. Blue Star's ears pricked, but she remained silent. Spotted Leaf continued to gaze upward. After a few moments, Spotted Leaf lowered her head and turned to Blue Star. It was a message from StarClan. Fire alone can save our clan. Fire? But fire is viewed by other clans. How can it save us? Spotted Leaf shook her head. I don't know, but this is the message StarClan has chosen to share with me. The ThunderClan leader fixed her clear blue eyes on the medicine cat. You've never been wrong before, Spotted Leaf. If StarClan has spoken, then it must be so. Fire will save our clan. Oh yeah, this part. Is this chapter 1? Yeah, it's chapter 1. It was very dark. Rusty could sense something was near. The young tomcat's eyes opened wide as he scanned the dense undergrowth. This place was unfamiliar, but the strange scent drew him onward, deeper into the shadows. His stomach growled, reminding him of his hunger. He opened his jaws slightly to let the warm smells of the forest reach scent glands on the roof of his mouth. Musty odors of leaf mold mingled with the tempting aroma of a small furry creature. Suddenly, a flash of gray raced past him. Rusty stopped, still listening. Suddenly, a flash of gray. Oops. Rusty knew it was a mouse. He could feel the rapid pulsing of a tiny heart within his ear fur. I forgot the word deep, he swallowed, stifling his rumbling stomach. Ooh. Soon his hunger would be satisfied. Suddenly, he lowered his body into position, crouching for the attack. He was downwind of the mouse. He knew it was not aware of him. With one final check on his praised position, Rusty pushed back on his haunches and sprang, kicking up the leaves on the floor as he rose. The mouse dived for cover, heading toward a hole in the ground, but Rusty was already on top of it. He skipped it into the air, hooking the helpless creature with his thorn-sharp claws, flinging it up in a high arc onto the leaf-covered ground. The mouse landed dazed, but alive, and tried to run, but Rusty snatched it up again. He tossed the mouse one more time, this time a little further away. The mouse managed to scramble a few paces before Rusty caught up with it. Suddenly, a noise roared nearby. Rusty looked around, and as he did so, the mouse was able to pull away from his claws. When Rusty turned back, he saw it dart into the darkness among the tangled roots of a tree. Angry, Rusty gave up the hunt. He spun around, his green eyes glaring, intent on searching out the noise that has caused his kill. The sound rounded on, but becoming more familiar. Rusty blinked open his eyes. The forest had disappeared. Ooh, I love this background. He was inside a hot and airless kitchen, curled in his bed. Moonlight filtered through the window, casting shadows on the smooth, hard floor. Oh, come on. Let's just save it right here. Hi there, Butternut. We got a cat over here, which is the best. Come here, Butternut. So yeah, I'm talking to little Butternut, and she's very cute. Want some kisses? Can you give Mama kisses? Alright, you're mean. Oh my, what happened to your collar? What happened to your collar? Oh, I get it. A Miss Menace to Society did this to you. Come on. Now get off the bed. Get off the bed. And let Mama do her thing. No, get off my bookshelf. Okay. The noise had been the rattle of hard-dried pellets of food as they were tipped into his dish. Rusty had been dreaming. Lifting his head, he rested his chin on the side of his bed. His collar rubbed uncomfortably around his neck. In his dream, he had felt fresh air ruffling. Oh, you're mean. Ruffling the soft fur where the collar usually pinched. Rusty rolled onto his back, savoring the dream for a few more moments. In his dream, he could still smell a mouse. It was the third time since full moon that he'd had the dream. At the time the mouse had escaped his grasp, he licked his lips. Far from his bed, he could smell the bland odor of his food. His owners had always refilled his dish before they went to bed. The dusty smell chased away the warm sense of his dream. But the hunger rumbled on his stomach, so Rusty stretched the sleep out of his limbs and padded across the kitchen floor to his dinner. The food fell dried and tasteless on his tongue. Rusty reluctantly swallowed one more mouthful. Then he turned away from the food dish and pushed his way out through the cat flap, hoping that the smell of garden would bring back the feelings of his dream. Outside, the moon was bright. It was raining lightly. Rusty stalked down the tidy garden, following the starlit gravel path, feeling the stones cold and sharp beneath his paws. He made dirt beneath Whoa, what do you mean made his dirt? I know what that means, trust me. He made his dirt beneath a larger bush with glossy green leaves and heavy purple flowers. Their sickly, sweet scent cloyed the damp air around him, and he curled his lip to drive the smell out his nostrils. Afterward, Rusty settled down on the top of one of the posts in the fence that marked the limits of his garden. It was a favorite spot of his. He could see right into the neighboring gardens as well as into the dense green forest on the other side of the garden fence. The rain had stopped. Behind him, the close-cropped lawn was bathed in moonlight, but beyond his fence, the woods were full of shadows. Rusty stretched his head forward to take a sniff of the damp air. His skin was warm and dry under his thick coat, but he could feel the weight of the raindrops that sparkled on his ginger fur. He heard his owner giving him one last call from the back door. If he went to them now, they would greet him with gentle words and caresses and welcome him onto their bed. He would curl, purring, warm on the crook of the bed knee. This time, Rusty ignored his owner's voices and turned his gaze back to the forest. The crisp smell of the woods had grown fresher after the wind. Suddenly, the fur on his spine prickled. Was something moving up there? Was something watching him? Rusty stared ahead, but it was impossible to see or smell anything in the dark, tree-scented air. He lifted his chin boldly, stood up, and stretched, one paw gripping each corner of the fence post as he straightened his legs and arched his back. He closed his eyes and breathed in the smell of the woods once more. It seemed to promise him something, tempting him onward into the whispering shadows. Tensing his muscles, he crouched for a moment. Then he leaped lightly down onto the rough grass on the other side of the garden fence. As he landed, the bell on his collar rang out through the still night air. "Where you off to, Rusty?" Rusty looked up. A young black and white cat was bouncing gracefully on the fence. "Hello, Smudge. You're not going into the woods, are you?" "Just for a look." "Whoa, Bogart, don't be rude. You won't get me in there. It's dangerous." "Henry said he went into the woods once." The cat lifted his head and gestured with his nose over the rows of fences toward the garden where Henry lived. "That fat old tabby never went into the woods. He's hardly been beyond his own garden since his trip to the vet. All he wants to do is eat and sleep. No, really, he caught a rabbit in there." "Well, if he did, then it was before the vet. Now he complains about birds because they disturb his dozing." "Well, anyway, he told me that there are all sorts of dangerous animals out there. Huge wildcats who fly, rabbits for breakfast, jumping their claws on old bones. I'm only going for a look around. I won't stay long." "Well, don't say I didn't warn you." "Yo, that's Mo's weirdest face." The black and white cat turned and plunged over the fence, back down into his own garden. Rusty sat in the coarse grass beyond the garden fence. He gave his shoulders a nervous lick and wondered how much of Smudge's gossip was true. Part 2 is coming soon. See ya!